Okay, so I want to give you guys one final look before I begin the priming of my kit. I know I said I was going to show you what the kit will look like, primed. But I did a little bit more work, a little bit more detailing, a little bit more cleaning up a bit, because quite frankly there was some parts that didn't look right and I had to redesign some parts that I forgot to do, and I said to myself, wait a minute, I'm going to do this now, and I forgot to do this. So I just wanted to show you some parts. Well, actually probably going to end up showing you all parts. So like, for example, the back part of the arms, I put some detail around here. We all know that these are going to be the spikes that's going to come out. This where we designed this here, give it a little detail there. Same thing on this side, a little strip here. I'm going to sand it down with this sanding brick just to clean it up a bit. Also delete, sand off any of the leftover glue markings. So I got that. I think I showed you I detailed this a bit. I also put a little part there to cover up that hole. But this one's good. There's this little part here that I forgot I had a piece. I think, let me see, I had this one, but it doesn't fit. It's not the appropriate size. I had another one that too didn't fit, so I'm just going to leave it alone and leave it as, detail. So that's going to be there. Everything else is going to be in this little box because some parts will be on trees and things like that. So like the parts of the foot, the armor of the feet, the shoulder parts, these detail parts here. Which, to tell you the truth, and I put this over to the side. Here are the spikes, and I'm going to put this one here because they're going to be painted separate. So let's do that now. Yeah, so that way it's there. Some of the thrusters I'm going to clean up because they're not completely cleaned up. So once I'm going to do that, I'm going to put them on the reversible tape. I don't know. I was going to use this, but I changed my mind. I'm going to use this now with these little things here. But this is what I did with the chest. This is pretty much, I believe, the best I can do. Using the vents from the thrusters, using the slider vents from the intakes, and this was parts of a waist part that I cut and detailed. I'm going to, and now I just reminded myself, I'm going to take something like this, cut it at an angle, and cover up the hole. So I'm going to do that in a minute. This part I had to sand down and because of the edges of the parts, not here. The entire assembly of the leg has been removed, but I don't want to remove this part because I've already glued this into place. This is done. So this will be a one-piece deal, other than, well, that I can actually remove this now because this is going to be in a separate portion, and this one as well. I'm using this as friction. I'm not gluing it, so I'm going to remove it, and obviously with the painting over it. Now that I'm looking at this right now, and I've been there's so much stuff to do. I'm going to use one of these to put in here, maybe one of this to put in here. It'll be covered up by the waist unit itself. I didn't do any more detail here in the back or in the bottom. I did kind of tighten this up a bit because once this is, I think I never showed you guys this. So if I pop this out, here's the battery assembly. It's ugly, it's ridiculous, but it can be, removed. And I'm going to test it out now because I also redid the connection. I used this part here from the head. So when it goes into this, like so, the lights turn on. Now I just did something that may have damaged it. Let me see. I think the light's turning on, but I can't see because of the light. Ah, God, I gotta do this. Yep, it's on. It's on. By the way, it's now been several days and this battery is still rocking. So this part can be easily removed without any issues. Put that there. I think that's pretty much it. Here's the shield. Put a little more detail there. I was going to put something back here, but I'm just give me a minute. All in all, I think I have everything done. Oh, and the piece de resistance, you could say. I redid the lance, and I had many ideas. None of them came to fruition. So this is my idea of an armored lance. My intention was originally to put thrusters here, but then I think that would have been a little too much. May put more detail here, but let's see what happens. But now I'm kind of like at the home stretch here, but that looks really good. And I kind of like how what I did with this one was like a little weird turbo engine type thing, or like an exhaust, or vent. I kind of like this. This came out really nice. This was actually from the spikes, which I cut a spike off, and this round part was actually from, oh god, what was it? It was from some other kit, and I don't remember now. Shoot. It could be from the, I don't know. Now I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm already, you know, tired. Alright, let me finish up those little bit of details, and let's rock the paint. Alright, so I finished priming the Kimaris, as you can see here, using Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 Gray. Thinned it out pretty well, applied many layers, and the one thing about priming, for those of you who do not know, is that you gotta, priming shows you, well, covering up the colors and whatever, but it also shows you what parts you may have forgot to clean and you know, clean up a bit or sand down. Like I'm seeing right here, there's one part here that probably was from the nub. I'm gonna have to sand that down. I know I saw something back here in the for the arms in the back, so I gotta clean that up as well. I'm reviewing each and every one of these. Like right now, I'm reviewing my custom parts that I put for the back leg, for the front leg. It's already been taken care of right there. The shoulders. Oops, pulled the wrong one out. The shoulder part that goes right there. The shield, that's customized as well, so that one's taken care of. And of course, this actually came out really nice, the lance. And again, when you apply primer, you see some of the defects and stuff like that. So right now I saw some parts here that was like a little bit of leftover glue. So what I do is I sand it down a bit further so I can clean up, so it smooths out a bit. I have some thinner, I have a smaller sanding stick. So I'm kind of like, it's all dry, but I want to review each and every one of these to make sure that they're all good. These parts are done as well, which I'm going to paint separately, of course. And right now, you probably don't see it. I'm going to zoom in on that. The eyes are covered. I use a little bit of sticky tack in there to cover up the eyes because there's a I don't know if I ever said this in previous videos. I took clear plastic, and I thought I saw it right here a moment ago. I took clear plastic from a oh, here it is. It's actually not this, but this is close enough. This was one of them from another kit. But I took one and I began to measure and size up what it would look like going through through these eyes. So I began sanding it down, sanding it down, sanding it down, and then once I thought it was comfortable, I slid them in there to see if it goes in and out, and then I cut them into two pieces, and then I just put them in there. And of course, when you in my previous video you saw how it was lit up, it looked good. But so I can't take them off, and the paint would have gone inside and painted up the eyes. So what I did is I put those little sticky tacks in there to cover it up. So obviously once I'm done, peel them off, we're good as new. So yeah. So this is starting to take shape. But of course many of you are asking me, what am I going to paint this? And to this moment I'm still thinking about what to paint. Here's an idea. Now then, I have to the side some of the paints that I'm going to be using on this kit, and this is going to be maybe the same that you're probably normally going to see on this type of kit, but there will be slight color variations, some ideas. But the one thing that I'm a bit uncomfortable with is the fact that I'm going to be painting parts that didn't exist, that wasn't part of the norm. I'm so accustomed with taking a manual of a kit, looking at the part, saying, okay, this part will look good with this color, and then around here and there, and all that stuff. But now this is something that I have to think about for this kit, and it's a little daunting for me, but I'll figure this out in a way. And not all these colors are set in stone, and at least a good 90% of these colors will be painted, will be airbrushed, while a small amount of percentage will be actually hand brushed due to the complexity of this kit's design. So, that being said, for the inner frame parts, the areas of the legs, the joints, the side skirt armor, the chest armor, the portion of the chest armor, the umbilicals, the thrusters, I'm going to be using a combination of UNT MS Gray metallic and Extreme Metals gunmetal. These two will work in tandem. Obviously, those will also work with the weaponry. Next up, once I have the inner frame done, the overall color, I was trying to think of how I was going to do a light, like very light gray. It was a choice. As a matter of fact, I put it to the side and I was going to say maybe I should use this, maybe not. Let me just pull it out first again so you guys can see this. I thought I had it. Oh, no, there it is. It's in my hand. Correction. I thought I said light gray. And it's not light gray I was going to use. I was actually going to use this color, which is Air Superiority Blue. Let's open it up and see the tone of this. It has a nice color tone right there. So I was going to use this, but then I changed my mind. I'm just going to use the standard MS White, which is a dark, which is an off-white color. And the reasons why I chose this is because there's other layers of colors I'm going to be adding to it. For starters, I do like the purple color tone on this, on the Kimaris and the Kimaris Trooper, and even the Kimaris Vidar. So I have two purples here that I'm going to use in tandem as well. This is, of course, purple primary gloss, which I'll open this up. And it's strong purple right there. And MS Purple Semi-Gloss by the Mr. Color brand. This is a different color tone. It hasn't been mixed. So hang on a second. I haven't used this color yet. But this is the actual purple color tone that's used on the RX-78-2 on the backpack. And I like these two color tones. See? So we have these two. And I'm going to do a mixture of both, of both of these in tandem with some of the parts that you see here, including this blue here, light blue. I don't know if this light blue is good enough. Let me check. I don't think I've ever used this light blue. Have I? This is almost like neon. Wow. It's actually really nice. I like that. So these are the colors that I'm going to be using for the Kimaris custom that I'm making right here. Some parts, some of the color, there'll be like multiple color choices on specific areas of the kit, like on the shield, on this, on the parts that are over there, on the lance, everywhere. And I just want to start with the inner frame first so I can get that out of the way, so then when I mask it off, I do an overall paint job using the white for the bottom base, then seal it with the sealer, and then begin selectively select sections of the kit where I will be using the dark purple, light purple, and blue. Wherever, you know, whatever I decide, I don't know how it's going to come out, but yeah, this is going to be a very, very busy paint job thingy, my dog. I don't know. I'm maybe second guessing myself, but this is the choice I made. I hope it comes out the way I like it. Let's begin painting.